Okay, greetings and welcome to the Eccentric Perspective. It is August 7th of 2025, a Thursday, and I am your host, Blake Wally. I will be here for the next 60 to 90 minutes or so covering the latest news and current events. Boy, do I have an amazing show lined up that's going to change your lives forever. Probably not. But there are plenty of interesting stories to discuss. This is the thumbnail, and I suppose the headline today. I didn't really know what to go with. Let's run with the South Park. So, did South Park declare war on MAGA? Big cultural skirmish. Did check out the second show last night. And it was some interesting stuff there. It's changed a bit, and I've been following it since the mid 90s, since it first came out, watching reruns on VHS tapes. That's how far back I go with the show, but I'd been on a hiatus, hadn't seen it for a long time. I wanted to tune in and see how relevant it still is, and I'll do a little bit of a breakdown, although I don't know how much of the I don't know if I can really play much of the clips, so I'll see what I can do. Skim around, play with it. Otherwise, I'll just take my video down. So anyway, I guess you can probably get away with it more on Twitter X than you can on the live streams and YouTube's copyright and all that stuff. Hey, Deb. Oh, yeah, great to see you too. Glad you could make it. Did not watch the South Park. I just signed up for my Paramount Plus last night just so I could watch this show. It's going through all this. I really have time to watch all these streaming services, even though I do subscribe to several of them. But I canceled my Peacock so I could get the Paramount. And I'll probably just have it until the season is over, I suppose. I don't know if it's, I don't know. Maybe I'll check out some of the Star Trek or something. I don't know what they're going to have, if it's worth $7.99 a month, unless you're going to get some time out of it. But, all right. Well, I did sign in. Hey, good to have you here, Rob. Nice. It's too bad I just can't see the emojis. Don't always translate, or maybe they'll pop up later. But thank you for your enthusiasm. Yes, Mr. Hanky is a national treasure. I'm sure he must make an appearance once in a while. It's just been several years. So I missed it between Comedy Central and the History Channel used to be like my go-tos back in the day. I used to get more TV time and more of the, what do you call it, the DVR or the TiVo back in the day. What's going on with my hair here? Okay, it's distracting me. But yeah, the Comedy Central is just a shadow of what it used to be. So I don't even tune into that stuff anymore. But back in the day, it used to be a juggernaut with South Park and so many great shows. But since they went streaming, it's kind of dropped off my radar a bit. Then it got weird with like Mr. Garrison being Trump. That just kind of confused me, and then I was just out of it, so didn't care. But yeah, we'll take a look at the notes. I did tune in, and I will give my take on that. Oh, you like the Paramount? They do have good stuff. I just don't have time, and I don't know what these new Star Trek shows are about. I'm skeptical. I don't think I'm going to like them. But I'll do some research. Perhaps I'll tune in, get some money's worth. Anyhow, glad you guys could make it. We'll give you a quick rundown of the other things I have on tap. So here are the headlines. South Park, did they bring war on Trump with their brilliant satire? And are there 50 million illegals that must be removed? And Bibi, does he want to take Gaza to free all of the good Palestinians? He's just going to give the place a little makeover, shake out the Hamas people, and then, just have this glorious two-state solution and peace and prosperity for all. How about lawmakers that they travel to Israel during their little summer break? Do they deserve to be rewarded for that? And Jasmine Crockett, should she be the clear frontrunner for the Democrats in 2028? She is the future face of the Democratic Party. Maybe. And I guess a little filler that I cut from yesterday, Las Vegas. Is it now a relic and experience of the past? Of course, I can speak on that after living there for almost 18 years. And anyway, well, this is what I have on tap. And of course, you guys are more than welcome to drive the show in any direction. If you want to comment and perhaps share a news story or any of that good stuff, we can certainly have that discussion. So feel free, drop a line or lurk in the background. It's all good. Glad you can make it. Please like and subscribe. And let's run a very quick intro and then we'll get started on the other side. Here we go. Hello, Blake Wally, Eccentric Perspective. All right, let's I'll get ready to rock here. I guess a little breakdown of last night's South Park. Well, JD Vance, it's a big deal, I suppose, for Charlie Kirk and JD Vance. It's a great honor to be satirized by the legendary creators of South Park. Although, it's unclear maybe exactly what their role is. I don't know exactly how much oversight or how much they have to do with the writing of every particular episode. I have no idea what kind of like a $1.5 billion contract. So I'm assuming they've got quite a staff of people. Writers and animators and such. I just don't know how much creative control some of the other people have or how that dynamic works. But I'm sure the show has evolved quite a bit. I think it's on season number 27. So that is quite the long time. Aha! TK Mark, any arrests? So who do you think should be arrested right now, TK Mark? And what do you think the outcome of that would be? What do you think the backlash? Let's strategize. Let's game plan this one out. Who do we arrest and what is the response going to be? Or do you need to destroy some of these people politically first, and then get the public to be begging for arrests, and then you swoop in like the good guys and conclude? But I don't know, just running around, rounding people up like the J6 people didn't go so well. But it took a while to flip that narrative. Anyway, Deb from Mr. Hanky and Christmas Pooh Seasons greetings. Thank you. It's a good one. That was a classic episode. We'll see. Definitely, at some point in the season, must make a cameo. I would think some of their top characters. But I have been out of the loop for too long until last night, or just with a couple of the the COVID episodes in 2020. But here we go. So JD Vance making it, and the little spoof on Fantasy Island, although I don't know how many of the millennials and Gen Z people got that joke, but a lot of us certainly did, and that was kind of cool, but it went off the rails. I don't know. I thought it was just really a lot of low blow, really attacking Trump and MAGA, but in a way where it wasn't that funny to me. I don't know. Just the whole last night's particular episode dealing with Mr. Mackey MK. He's the school counselor. Not to spoil the episode, but he gets he's no longer, his services are no longer required at the school, so he has to get a new job. And of course, ICE is hiring in a big way with lots of benefits. And so, in a maneuver to get his career back on track and keep him financially afloat, he decided to enlist with ICE and go crack down on the illegal aliens. And so that was one of the twists. Anyway, all right. Well, TK Mark, I don't know if we're ready to have that conversation. I'm going to get into the South Park stuff, but that's not how criminal cases are successfully prosecuted. Grand jury, then arrests, then charges, then you share evidence. That's fine, but I mean, I don't know. I think some of that is being unrealistic for now. But hey, I'm not a legal expert. I'm not not into the criminal justice. I just want to see things, but I don't know if it's really healthy to just keep complaining about where the arrests are every single day. It's not easy to be patient, but there's a lot of good progress. So they could have just not done anything. There might not be any Russiagate revelations. Tulsi Gabbard could have just said, let's just sweep it under the rug. We're not going to go after any of these people. We're not going to just let everybody forget it. And then we'd all be upset about it or wondering what people are doing. But there's good things happening. So I'm not going to get into that pessimism and spiral and the negativity. But we'll see. So the South Park isn't always funny. It's insulting. I mean, usually it's good and it's clever. And they've been great on the cultural battles for going on their third decade, I suppose. But I think lately it seems like this is just like angry woke leftists that are bitter and they're lashing out. They have absolutely been soundly defeated. They've lost in the culture war, and now they're just angry. And that just kind of felt like what South Park is. And I'm not saying it's from Trey or Matt or if it's their team, but it seems like they need to, cut a couple of the leftist Karens, maybe hire a couple of other people on the other side just to give the show a little more balance. Like Saturday Night Live, when they had Alec Baldwin do the Trump impersonation. It wasn't funny anymore because it was so mean. They have like a hatred. You got to have like an appreciation for some of the characters that you're satirizing. Otherwise, it just whatever. It is angry, bitter, and it's not funny. Some of the leftists, I guess, are enjoying this because it kind of fuels the fantasy that they want to believe that they're fighting fascism from the crazy orange dictator. But that was basically in a nutshell. Or another one great example from the Paramount Plus, for what's left of them, is the Stephen Colbert, who was funny when he was on Comedy Central, doing his little shtick after the Daily Show, became, try to be more of a regular guy, normal talk show host for CBS. Ratings weren't doing really well, but then they decided they're getting some laughs with the Trump stuff. So they decided, but then that became the whole show. And then there's no longer just a good monologue of going after both sides, like classic talk show hosts of the past, the Jay Leno's, the Johnny Carsons. And it just became a show where it's just the whole thing is just revolved around attacking Trump the point where just people are sick of it, and then they finally cancel. They lost money on it for years, and then finally just pulled the plug. So I don't know if that's the same way South Park is going to go, but not when they have this massive contract, or if they just kind of mailed it in. It seems like it's lazy in a way. There are some still like funny jokes. They do have a fun perspective on world events, but I think they really missed the mark. And again, it just seems like it's a bitter thing. It's just having a tantrum. So, well, let's see. Bias and anger don't work in comedy. But I mean, I'm not, discouraging anyone from getting to Paramount or don't subscribe. I mean, you could check it out. Or I think they've got like a 1 month free trial. I didn't get it, but I guess apparently I had set up an account. I don't even remember in the past, but for some reason I didn't qualify. Anyway, I need lessons from Dave Chappelle. That was the heyday of Comedy Central. They had so many great shows all at the same time, with the Daily Show with Jon Stewart and South Park, and whether it was Chappelle or later it was Key and Peele. I even liked, the Sarah Silverman show. There was the Nathan For You. He's still doing stuff, right? And then they had Dimitri Martin. That was a good show. They had a ton of good stuff back in the day. Of course, the Man Show. But what's on Comedy Central? I don't even know what it is now. Comedy Central was amazing for years. Now it sucks. So South Park has just left. They were basically just propping up Comedy Central. They still have a logo there, so I'm not sure how that all works. Don't really care that much. But hey, they're streaming, and now I gotta pay $7.95 to watch South Park, and that is, whatever. It's all good. It's not the worst. Yeah, Leno and Carson, the late night kings, all downhill since. You are probably right there. It's not the same vibe anymore. And it's different. There's just so many other options now. It was a lot different back in those times, too. Because there wasn't a lot of, I had regular TV. I didn't have cable until early 90s or something. So it was different. Of course, Kids in the Hall, that was absolutely one of my very favorite shows. And that sucks. They didn't. I don't think they renewed a second season for Amazon. That would have been good. That would be funny. That was a great to see them come back. But I think they're just maybe a little too edgy or a little too ahead of their time. And it's been tough for them. But they are comedic geniuses in their own right. Click at Night, I have not familiar with Jiminy Glick. The comedy leftist central. Yeah, it's bad. Between Daily Show and I don't know, I guess that's really all they have. Not that I tune in. Living Color was great, but I think that was on like regular network Fox. If I do remember right. That was back in the 90s. And that launched a lot of careers. Wayans Brothers. Of course, Jim Carrey. That was a great show back in the 90s. The Kids in the Hall movie. That was great. It's a fun fact. I actually saw that movie twice in the theater, 2 weeks apart. And I was stoned too. Back in the good old 90s. The occasional getting baked in the movie theater parking lot and watching whatever this movie was there in play. Good times. But it was an underrated classic. So, no, that's before my time, perhaps. But anyway, let's see. Let's check out another piece here. The leftists are really enjoying this. Not so much on the right. I mean, again, it's below the belt. They went really hard on Trump with his, relationship with Satan. And then they went really just over the top against Kristi Noem, which, it's fair to criticize. They're doing the ICE raids. They're going after illegal aliens. But I mean, and it's killing dogs and stuff like that. But it's too far. Where they went after her for her looks, even though she's a beautiful woman, but they make it seem like she's just all like propped up with makeup and Botox. Maybe she is, but again, they went so hard after her for that. And then Trump and Vance and Trump's micro penis. I mean, some of that is funny, and some of it is it's too aggressive to the point where it's only going to be funny for the leftists, and you're going to totally alienate everybody else. And then sometimes they're just manufacturing BS, like bringing Christianity and Jesus back into schools. So they're getting rid of the woke principal, who was a great character. They were ripping on the leftist culture. Now apparently they've left Biden and Kamala completely alone, which shows bias. But they have roasted the woke culture. But it just feels like most of their writing team must be, raging woke leftists. So, anywho, Blake watching Half Baked. Got to admit, this is going to be a shock, but I actually was probably high. I actually had that on VHS. Good old Dave Chappelle and Jim Brewer. Harvey, I can't remember, but that was a great movie. Some of those that I watched over and over on VHS were Basketball, Half Baked, and the Brain Candy by the Kids in the Hall. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to post some of these comments, but they are fun. Okay. Bong hits after watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That might enhance the show. I never did that. But okay, good stuff. Wasn't he a stoner too? I can't remember. He was like a Christian, but he swore a lot. He was a good man. Fred Rogers. R.I.P. Great show. A good, wholesome show. That was, we had some healthy things from Gen X in the early 80s. These modern kids just wouldn't understand. Yeah, we'll leave that up. But yeah, Deb, $1.5 million hands off Biden and come swallow. I mean, if they handed me $1 billion, here, Blake, you get to write your show, do whatever you have creative control over everything you want to do. Just don't criticize the current administration, and you can do whatever else you want. Okay, fine. I could probably sell out for something like that, partially. Maybe when you're in it for that long, season 27, I mean, might as well just collect that money, secure your wealth, your family bloodline. So I guess someday in the future, our people will be run by the oligarchs of the descendants of Trey Parker and Matt Stone, and their billions that they made from South Park when their grandparents. I don't know. Is that how the world is going to work someday? I don't know. Rich trust fund kids from their wealthy great-great-grandparents who wrote South Park episodes and bought Bitcoin at the right time. Sesame Street, good stuff. Miss those days, the old Saturday morning cartoon days. Sesame Street, I don't remember a whole lot, but that was weekday stuff way back when. But good, wholesome fun. That's when PBS was still good, before they put the drag queens in. Well, maybe it was just the one time, so we'll let that slide. But they defunded Bibi. Yes, NPR at least. Anyway, we'll keep going. Yeah, it's a good ripping on Charlie Kirk here. So it's going to be the new storyline of the show, or one of them, is that Cartman is now the podcast wars with the right wingers, and they're debating. So this is the master, not to ruin not to spoil anything. This is he's the master debater. Get it? Because he's caught in bed debating with people, and they're pushing their weird social conservative agenda, which is all fair game. That was all good stuff. But when they came after Trump and Noam, and then it's the weird way that they were going after the illegal aliens, while being very careful not to mention that this illegal alien invasion is not a good thing. Here's South Park. I know it's funny because they're going after Dora the Explorer. Oh, there's Kristi Noem arresting illegal immigrants, even going into heaven to get rid of the dead immigrants. I mean, it's just, it goes a little too off the rails to make it sound as though the Trump administration is just completely evil. But even though this should not be criticized, this is what people wanted, is that this country has been infested with invaders that need to be removed. And, there's ways to go after the administration for that, but I don't know if going after Kristi Noem for looks. And I won't spoil some of that, not that it's worth seeing. It's just like they really kind of made her out to be a hideous person, targeting her looks and trying to trash her with low blow humor. Okay, is that all I have on that? I guess so. Yeah, it really is. Okay, so there's your update on South Park. So is it culturally relevant? Yes, but maybe just gonna have to push back on it. The leftists think it's great. We'll see how relevant it is. And they should have gone after Trump, because there is some fair game here. Like, if they're going to go after him, don't make it sound like he's associating with Satan. Why don't you go after the Epstein stuff? Because there's plenty of room for criticism. This is not good. But this is an interesting storyline. So this is a great account to follow, being libertarian on Twitter X. Saying the theory is the guy beside Trump, that would be Howard Lutnick, putting the CIA Mossad mind-controlled drugs in Trump's Coke or Diet Coke whenever he's getting ready to talk about Epstein. So now that would be a great way to rip on it. If I were the South Park writers, not that was directed at them. But yeah, go target Trump for things that are more important, like the Epstein or the Operation Warp Speed. That's also fair game. We don't like to see some of this stuff, but let's run it. So the people have suggested, and it's weird because it's a couple of the major times that Trump has dismissed the Epstein thing as a hoax. It's always when he's sitting with Howard Lutnick, who loves what he's hearing from Trump.
Gathering this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation.
Is he working on what?
Is he hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question.
Second time. So the other time was like, it wasn't on the tarmac. was like after he'd gotten off the plane, and there was, Lutnick, doing his, full belly laugh. Oh, Epstein. Oh. These stupid people.
I don't know of it, but I think here's the man right here.
I saw it reported today, and it's completely fake news. We're not meeting to talk about the Epstein situation, and I think the reporter who reported it needs to get better sources.
Look, the whole thing is a hoax. It's put out by the Democrats.
Okay. Here's another one. I think it's probably the same clip, though, but just saying that Glenn Greenwald calling it out. Calls for the release are total bullshit, or maybe you want to hear that clip.
Vice President Vance hosting a gathering this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation.
Is he working on what?
Is he hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but I think here's the man right here.
I saw it reported today, and it's completely fake news. We're not meeting to talk about the Epstein situation, and I think the reporter who reported it needs to get better sources.
Look, the whole thing is a hoax. It's put out by the Democrats because we've had the most successful 6 months in the history of our country. And that's just a way of trying to divert attention to something that's total bullshit. Okay? Yeah, please.
Total bullshit. So the files sitting on Pam Bondi's desk all that time. Why didn't they just say it was bullshit then? Or why even say it was there? And then they had a big truckload of bullshit brought in from New York, brought to the FBI so they could sort through loads and piles of bullshit. And it's a strange thing. I don't know what to make of it, but this is fair game. So yeah, that would be cool for the South Park to let it rip on Trump for that. Good to have you, Kenneth. And yes, why did South Park have to kill me? And now that you mention that, I just realized I don't remember seeing Kenny in either of the episodes that I watched. I don't know. There's Stan. There was a little bit of Kyle, but I would say it's mostly been Cartman. And then, of course, the Trump. So it's like the characters have switched up a little bit. They haven't gone into, it's not the normal routine that I'm used to with the four boys. So we'll have to see more of that. So it used to be a thing. You had to kill Kenny in every episode. It was tradition. But I don't know, maybe I guess they must have stopped doing that. Interesting. Did they kill Kenny permanently? Like in the movie? I don't know. It wasn't in the movie. I don't know. It's been a while. Okay. Yes. Warp speed. It's a big mess. Here's some fair game criticism here from Health Ranger Mike Adams. Trump just tripled down on Operation Warp Speed.
You were the driving force behind Operation Warp Speed, these mRNA vaccines that are the gold standard.
Right.
Now your health secretary is pulling back all the funding for research. He's saying that the risks outweigh the benefits, which puts him at odds with
Research
the
on
entire
what?
medical community and with you. What is going on?
Research on what?
Into mRNA vaccines.
Well, we're going to look at that. We're talking about it, and they're doing a very good job. And, that is a pass. Operation Warp Speed was, whether you're Republican or Democrat, considered one of the most incredible things ever done in this country. The efficiency, the way it was done, the distribution, everything about it has been amazing.
Ugh. Yeah, I might beg to differ. I don't think there's a lot to brag about rolling out an experimental jab that might not have been completely necessary. Rushing that out, and experimental stuff too. This is like mRNA. This is all new tech. This isn't your traditional vaccines of the past, and normally have to go through a long testing process. So I suppose in some way, from his point of view, and he's not exactly going to admit that he was wrong. He's not that type of guy. But yeah, at some point, we're going to see the numbers. And it's not like at least they didn't completely coerce everybody. But they certainly tried. If they could have gotten away with it, they would. But Trump wasn't the one pushing. He did promote it. But it was probably more the Biden administration that was really ramping up the pressure and getting people fired that weren't taking it, like when they go to the pilots and the military and so much else. But yeah, it was a successful endeavor to have a vaccine that fast. But that's not something you want to have fast, unless it was like, more than 90. If it was more deadly, if it was when it's 99.7 survival and most people that don't have like pre-existing conditions are going to be fine, then it doesn't seem necessary. Now, if it was some sort of new alien virus and it was a threat to humanity, and it was like a 91% survival rating and 9% of us were going to die, and maybe more if we didn't rush every resource into putting up a vaccine to save humanity. Yeah, it'd be a little different. But that's not what it was. It was just a glorified flu that was weaponized against the people and caused lockdowns worldwide and chaos and shut down small businesses and a lot of problems. Bad thing. It was a really ugly chapter of humanity. But hopefully we'll never go along with that again. Kenny's not cool with that. He's been cut from the show. Who's going to replace Kenny? It's a tough one. Except he's not really, I don't know. He's just one of the, nobody, I don't remember who does the Kenny voice. Is it Matt? Of course, he doesn't really talk. Yeah, he shouldn't be bragging about that, but he's got to. For him, it's an accomplishment, and he's never going to admit any mistakes, I don't think. Well, thank you, Kenneth. I appreciate that. I'm having a weird hair day. I don't know what's going on here. I probably should have put some more paste in, but we'll see if he'll pull it together. But thank you much. Yes. For all of the ladies out there that want to run your hands through my fabulous hair. Just kidding. All right. So, Deb, even under an alien virus scenario, you wouldn't take it because you wouldn't trust them. Yeah, I mean, that's just in this some sort of Star Trek scenario. We could trust our medical establishment, and we had, let's say, if we had to colonize some other planets, we had to leave the Earth and colonize another planet, and the local flora and fauna were hostile, and we needed some sort of a vaccine to protect us, or we were risking 50-50 odds of survival. Yeah, I guess maybe there would be a cause for that. I can believe in the technology, but at the same time, in this modern system, all they care about is profits. This was a big money grab for them. And that's what the CDC is. No, it's just a vaccine marketing program. And I can't trust them. I agree. Okay, Trump should call bullshit more often. I agree. There you go. All right, Deb, I'll let you go to the head of the line if it ever becomes a thing. That would be wild. Wild affair with my glorious hair. Thank you. All right. Anyway, we'll move on. Do I have anything more on that one? No. That was just the headline. We'll go quick on the rest. So, South Park brought war on Trump with brilliant satire. Well, they certainly brought a war. Whether it was brilliant, it was satire. Some of it was, I thought most of it was too mean and just, it really not that funny. Sorry, it was a couple chuckles. Maybe with more of the Cartman Charlie Kirk storyline. The rest was kind of cringy like Colbert or Alec Baldwin playing Trump, where it's really only going to be funny to the leftists that want to believe that they really are some sort of fascist monsters they can take down. So there are 50 million illegals that must be removed. So this kind of ties into the whole South Park thing because they're ripping on ICE, and Mackey's now an ICE agent, and Kristi Noem's got her own issues in the show, and they're going after illegal aliens all over the country, cracking down, even going to find the dead ones in heaven because I guess they just hate the brown people so much. That was one of the quotes, or I'll probably butcher it. If they're brown, they're going down. I think that was from heaven. So if they can't, if these people aren't, the villains they wanted them to be, they just manufacture and make shit up. It's very unusual. So not the edgy thing that it used to be. Blake, did the episode have any kitty diddler stuff? No, not that I'm aware of. But I know they've certainly done the NAMBLA stuff in the past. That was a classic episode. But not so far. But let's get back to the topics. We got 50 million illegals that must be removed. The point is, for the South Park, there is a major problem that needs to be addressed. They can rip on it, but that's not going to make this problem go away. Or do they not care? I mean, they got 150 billion. What do they care? They don't have to worry about illegal aliens. So, in their glorious mansions and their gated community with their private security staff. But according to Wayne Root, there are 50 million illegal aliens in the U.S., and we can and must deport them all. He's got 10 ways for Trump to make it happen efficiently and quickly. This is kind of a joint article that Wayne Allen Root published with his border agent friend who was served for 24 years, and they're figuring the real number of illegal aliens allowed into America under Biden was 25 to 30 million. I don't know if those numbers are accurate. I think I've seen 10, 12, 15. It's really hard to say. It's to get the accurate numbers, but it's inexcusable no matter how you look at it. So, and then of course the ones that were already here already. It's not good. It's calling it a demographic time bomb. And it's going to turn America into a third world crap hole. His words, not mine. But he thinks that, it's time to build and maintain and staff detention facilities, add more military and DHS personnel. I don't know if that's like a violation of posse comitatus, but if it is foreign invasion, then perhaps that is something that they are going to do at some point. They're talking about cross-designating and deputizing state and local police officers, police and sheriffs across America to locate, arrest, and turn over all the illegal aliens to the Border Patrol and ICE. Even recruiting retired military soldiers and retired police and Border Patrol. And to make it, I guess one thing I really like, you got to make it so difficult to live, work, and move in the United States of America. This seems like it should be an easy solution. Make it so it's impossible for them to get employed or to vote or to do day-to-day things, and they will probably have to self-deport on their own. And enforce E-Verify, require real ID to ensure they can't function anymore, so no welfare, food stamps, health care, any benefits are unable to access for them. And any sanctuary state, city, or county immediately loses all federal funding. And to have worksite enforcement increased nationwide, heavy fines for first-time offenders, etc., etc. But saying there's a caveat that some businesses like hotels, restaurants, farms, and agriculture will have a 1-year phase. And to get ready for domestic workers to take over at some of those foreign jobs that they've been taking. Tax remittance so that they can't send the money outside of the USA, or at least tax it. Because they're coming in, they're taking up benefits, and then they're sending money out of the country. So he has a lot of good, nice people. It's sad to see them, getting rounded up and what have you. And I'm on the, I'm not even on that article. I am now. Couldn't follow along. You guys missed out on all of these wonderful, gruesome advertisements all over the Gateway Pundit article that I'm reading. But no worries. But that's just it. They can rip on it. You can satirize it. You can trash Kristi Noem, Trump, and everybody. But this is what people want. This is what they voted for. It's become a problem. And to get into another real-world example of why this is bad, outlined here. Stephen Miller saying Democrats got 20, now this could be an exaggeration, but it might not be. You're talking about if you import all of these illegal people, especially in blue cities and states, you're going to get new Congress people. That's how it works. You have a representative for every 30-some thousand people. And if you bring in all these people, you're going to get 20 to 30 new House seats from counting illegals in the census, if you're padding those numbers. So how much does that affect Congress? You're trying to, pass legislation for the country, and you might have 20 House Democrats that shouldn't even be there, interfering with the votes. So this is, part of that agenda. Like, why did they leave the border open? Oh, because they know what they're trying to do. This is a voting block for them. So let's listen to Stephen Miller.
Illinois, Chicago, New York, Massachusetts. Democrats have gerrymandered the vote beyond recognition to try to maintain their advantage in the House elections. On top of that, let's not forget, Democrats rigged the 2020 census by including illegal aliens. Remember, they sued Donald Trump. They sued the administration. They fought tooth and nail to include illegal aliens in the census. 20 to 30 of House Democrat seats wouldn't exist but for illegal aliens. Texas is taking just a small corrective step against this ocean of fraud, this ocean of abuse by the corrupt Democrat Party, Sean.
Yeah. So that's incredibly significant. It shows, it's either us or them. This is how you, so it's going to get aggressive. Gloves are off. In fact, there was also a great clip here from Fox News, Jessica Tarlov getting roasted from, oh, no, I'm drawing a blank. Get distracted by these pictures. Tommy Lahren, the feisty Tommy Lahren, going after the Five's Jessica Tarlov about the future and the gerrymandering, the redrawing of the districts. So let's catch this clip.
First of all, the Democrat Party has been reduced to essentially a social media stunt at this point. That's the only way they can get any attention. It's not through legislation. It's not through ideas or policy. It's through stunts, whether it's getting arrested at a press conference or outside of an ICE facility or skipping work to go to Illinois. Also, the hypocrisy here for Democrats now to clutch their pearls when Republicans play the same way that they've been playing is really rich. Please spare me. Also incredibly hypocritical. Democrats had no problem for a 4-year span of time importing millions and millions of people into blue sanctuary states and cities to pad their numbers, to pad the census. But now they want to cry wolf and they want to cry crocodile tears because Republicans want to draw new maps in Texas. Democrats would do it every single time. They don't like it that Republicans are playing the same game. We learned from you. We're going to be cutthroat like Democrats, and we're going to win where we can.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Different era. Elections have consequences. This is all fair stuff. At least we should have our own citizens voting, not importing people, so that you guys can stay in power. So is interesting. And of course, and I'm sorry guys, I can't tell like with the volume, like each video sometimes depending on where they're from, there's variations and I don't know if it's coming out balanced, so I'm sorry if it's hard to hear or way too loud, but I'll try to be more mindful of that going forward. Okay, one other quick clip to show the I guess the Democrats now panicking, worried about Trump weaponizing the DOJ, going after them. But they're the ones who started all this, weaponizing the DOJ to go after their political rivals.
Again, let's just for the benefit of the doubt say, okay, I get it. But now instead of saying that was so horrible, no one should ever go through it. They're saying that was so horrible. Now we're going to do it to them.
After he insisted, I will end the weaponization. It's really hard to see what is the
difference
difference
here.
Right. And he is systematically going after people who either criticize him or oppose him, or have disagreed with him or investigated him. And we will see how many more follow.
Talk about how radicalized they were by, let's say, the investigation.
Okay, well, after you guys ran the relentless lawfare trying to lock him up, got him mug-shotted, and then tried to blow his head off in Butler, Pennsylvania. Yeah, gloves are off. Oh, and sabotaging his first administration by making up this Russiagate bullshit. Yeah, it's time. So TikTok, I guess, did it to themselves. Now they're worried about it. Well, turnabout is fair play. Okay, it's a great point here, Deb. A lot of the MAGA folks love South Park, and this will hurt their ratings if it's that bad. Yeah, because now we have to pay for it. Like, I don't have to pay for it. In fact, as soon as the season's over, I'm going to cancel my Paramount. I don't be wasting $7.99 a month or $12.99 if you want to get the ad-free experience. But I'll never get my money's worth out of it. Yeah, that's a great point. That's what happened to Howard Stern, too, is another one. He alienated half of his base. And probably most of them were Trump people. He said, I don't want you even listening. Okay, well, now your show is canceled. You're not getting another contract. He's old now. He's got plenty of money. But, he loves the attention, but he's been pretty much irrelevant for most of the last 20 years. But, yeah, it's not good to piss off half your audience. So that is going to be problematic. It's a great point. But I guess they got the contracts. Now it's Paramount's problem. So maybe they should just dial it back a bit. But then, hey, it's going to give us fuel to fight back, I suppose. Anyway, or just call out the BS. And the export machines. And bye-bye. The old shock jock Stern gone. And did anyone notice? Couldn't tell you the last time I tuned in to see him. Used to be on E, and they used to just have like a 30-minute show. But nope. I don't know what his regular audience even was. Very different era, like the late Howard Stern era. That's the Stern with Howard. Should have been. So regarding the mass deportations, from TK Mark is saying Grok noted Obama has more than double the deportations than Trump did for the first 8 months. But let's just say, I don't know, is that Trump's fault? You saw the resistance. You see the people protesting ICE. You see the judges trying to stop the, hardcore gang members from being deported into El Salvador, and they're calling on, rights for all these people. I forget the term for that. Due process. So they're trying to give due process even to illegal aliens who should never have been here, and they're criminals. But it's the left that's fighting for that. So that's kind of goes into what Wayne Allen Root is saying. Do you declare it was the posse comitatus thing? Do you allow the military to come in? And actually, speaking of which, we got a couple other quick notes on that. One, there was an issue with a Penske truck rental torched after condemning the DHS for hiding in its truck and ambushing illegal aliens at a Home Depot in LA. So these guys are looking for work, but there was this Penske moving truck and filled with DHS agents. And surprise, surprise, and went to the raid. So that's one clip. There's another very quick clip. Rounding up illegals in the parking lot. And since it was a Penske truck, it was, I guess, bad PR. But then people were fighting back and calling them out. Trying to boycott Penske now, maybe. Because they're trying to enforce laws, lawful actions by ICE. And then also pointing out the hypocrisies that potentially lots of people, including children, were trafficked all over the country in Penske trucks. So it's just getting the best deal on the rental. What are we going to do? Shut down the Penskes? I don't know. Yeah, they're showing the agents scanning the truck and seeing illegal aliens that are being smuggled inside of them. Well, let's move on. Got Governor Lee here in Tennessee calling on the National Guard to help with ICE deportations. So maybe the military can't get involved, even though it is a foreign invasion. Maybe the National Guard can help. And you've got Homeland Security reassigning FEMA employees to help with the mass deportations. Trump is saying some deported farm workers should be allowed to return legally. I think that's cool. You get good, hardworking people, and they could actually be benefited. Bring them back to do the work, and then they could be legalized citizens. I don't know. Yeah, I'm down for amnesty for some of the good ones for sure. And here's another incentive. This goes into the South Park episode with Mr. Mackey. Okay. Sorry, I butchered that. Okay. Sorry. I can't do the impersonation. I wasn't warmed up for it. I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared. So my apologies. But ICE is looking to hire 10,000 more agents and is offering $50,000 signing bonuses and student loan forgiveness. Might be a good opportunity. A little too old for that. I'm middle-aged with a hernia now. Otherwise, maybe I would do that. Shit. And we've got the leftist machine outraged. Got Rachel Maddow saying that he's trying to get Trump killed. It sure looks that way. Faking her little concern. We'll roll a clip here.
Life has not stopped, and none of our personal lives have stopped. But also, at the same time, life in the United States is profoundly changing, is profoundly different than it was even 6 months ago. Because we do now live in a country that has an authoritarian leader in charge. We have...
What the F? Authoritarian leader. See, this manufactured bullshit.
A consolidating dictatorship in our country.
Look at that with a straight face. Ridiculous. Maddow, she's so awful.
And it sounds melodramatic to say it. I know.
Yeah, it is. It's bullshit, Rachel.
But just go with that for a minute, right?
Yeah, believe your bullshit for a minute. Okay.
Think in melodramatic terms.
Think in melodramatic. If I was a crazy wacko leftist and I believed Rachel Maddow's utter bullshit.
Cinematic terms. Imagine the cartoon level caricature of what you think a dictatorship looks like.
Okay. Hitler, Stalin, Pol Pot, Mao. There are some awful people.
I mean, it's secret police, right?
Secret police.
A massive, anonymous, unbadged, literally masked, totally unaccountable internal police force that apparently has...
Yeah, they have to cover their masks so you fucking crazy ass leftists don't go dox them and try to like burn their houses down and kill their family. They're trying to do a job. This is what people voted for. They were disgusted by the illegal alien invasion that was allowed to fester. Whether it's 10 or 20 million, who's counting? The point is, someone's got to fix it now. We'll just get a free pass. Why they're making it sound like it's authoritarianism? These people are not supposed to be here. They're here illegally. If somebody was in a concert or a movie theater or an amusement park and they didn't pay, they didn't have a wristband, they didn't go, security is going to pick them up and throw them out. I don't get the logic here, but this is, they got to manufacture it. Yeah, Stern, the biggest sellout in media history. He got his bag. Okay, I'm getting better. I'll have to practice my impersonations. Rachel Mad. Clang, yes, drink. Maddow is the worst. She's so smug. I enjoy ripping on her about as much as anybody. All right. Tangle in her knee. I don't know what that means. Always so dramatic, but people still believe her. Scripted drama queen. Sleep with Maddow. I don't know about that one, man. I don't know if I could take one for the team, and I guess wouldn't work anyway. She's a lesbian. Okay. Anyway, it's all good. Good for her. Not my deal. Or what was that? We ran we did a question many years ago on the Agree to Disagree show. Would you rather, if you had to spend a day in the amusement park, this is going back way back when, or it might have even been an Eccentric perspective. We posted the question, if you had to spend a day at the amusement park with somebody, would you rather do Rachel Maddow or Ann Coulter? And surprisingly, I actually picked Rachel Maddow. I think she would actually be more enjoyable of a person to hang out with versus Ann Coulter, who I just think is would constantly aggravate me with her BS. Even though I wouldn't like either one of them on their politics. I would find Rachel a better person, but God, she's just insufferable on that show. She's such a political hack and a pinko. Yeah, mad cow bullshit. Yeah, it's good watching her freak out. And Coulter. Hey, Rick Norman, good to have you. Better late than never. It's all good, buddy. Whenever. Cool. Alrighty. Good stuff. Yeah, she's into carpet, and that's good. Good for her. I just hate her politics. But anywho, I think that's it on that issue, right? So there are 50 million illegals that must be removed, apparently. I don't know, but I guess maybe I would say 30 to 40 million. Maybe give some amnesty. I don't know. It's a tough call. What would happen? I mean, you're talking about if there were actually 50 million people in our country out of, I don't know how many people are in the country, 320, 330 million. And that's a significant. You're talking about like 1 out of 6 or 7 people. That sounds hard to believe. That, let's just say, for every 7 people, 1 of them is here illegally, and you'd have to remove them. That actually might have some consequences. So I'm good to get rid of the voting block and to send some of those Congress people packing as you consolidate their districts. But that's a hell of a lot of people, and I don't know how that would even affect our economy. Plus, a little bit worried about our the population crash here. Is that they're not producing as many kids these days. So that could be a problem. So we do have to import people. It just has to be in the right way, not just rewarding the illegal invaders for getting in here. All right, no more Maddow. Yeah, there's certainly work to be done. Guess they could stay. If they want to continue staying, or after a certain time, maybe they would have to endure some sort of punishments. And if that's on a chain gang picking up trash on the freeways, then I guess did it to themselves. Yeah, the Dems would like to buy them all a Coke. Yeah, like you said before, the Mexican Coke with the real sugar, maybe a horchata. And give them voting cards, give them voting rights, and keep them if they could, so they can prop themselves, stay in power. But doesn't look like that's going to happen. So this could be very different in a few years. So yes, I know TK Mark is very frustrated with the lack of deportation. So many are, but there's so many obstacles to doing that. And there is a win. I mean, they're making efforts. There is ICE everywhere. You see Rachel Maddow panicking. You see leftists trying to stand up and fight the deportations. You've seen the borders basically shut down. People aren't coming back in. I mean, I don't know. There's things that are, positive. So, anyhow, let's move on. Of course, let's talk about Bibi. Does he want to take Gaza to free all the good Palestinians? He just wants to move them out, and they're going to rebuild beautiful communities. He's going to have this welcome the Palestinians back after they've remodeled, built them beautiful homes. He's going to say, here you go. We're going to live side by side in peace forever. I doubt it. They're going to level that place and take it for themselves. So here's a clip saying, will Israel take control of Gaza? And Bibi is saying, we intend to. Glenn Greenwald is asking, who do you think is going to pay for the full-scale occupation and the ensuing years of guerrilla warfare? So even the IDF chiefs are opposed, knowing it will lead to endless insurgency and enduring fighting and death, but it's not Israel who will pay for it.
You will go immediately into a meeting with your security cabinet. Will Israel take control of all of Gaza?
We intend to, in order to assure our security, remove Hamas there, enable the population to be free of Gaza, and to pass it to civilian governance. That is not Hamas and not anyone advocating the destruction.
It'll be just some other group that they can control. Yeah, I'm not buying any of this.
Israel. That's what we want to do. We want to liberate ourselves and liberate the people of Gaza from the...
Yeah, he really cares so much about the people of Gaza. Then why are you killing tens of thousands of innocent people? This man is a monster and a menace. But, yeah, he's got bigger ambitions, and he's also... well, we'll get into it. Hold on. Zink is saying, Bibi, saying Israel's going to take Gaza, but later they will return it. And if you believe that, you are the dumbest person in America or a mainstream reporter. They'll rush to celebrate how amazing the new Gaza is going to be. Somebody else is saying, Butch Ware is saying, Bibi is desperate to occupy Gaza because he wants custody of the crime scene. So, saying they want to sanitize the carnage because they know if the international observers are ever let into access Gaza, they will find, let's just say, atrocities on every block, and that will be the end, as the world will be outraged when they see what's been done. But if they can take it over, they can clean it up and bury the things that they don't want you to see. So, and then another one, I've got a bombshell. I'm going to play another quick clip here from General Flynn, and this is good because he's been somebody who's been very, very pro-Israel in his statements, but this was refreshing to hear, is that he's telling it like it is. He was saying that even the Israeli military insiders confirmed to him that they were told to stand down on October 7th.
And I know that there's some machinations and there's got to be some big, big problems right now internal, and Netanyahu's dealing with it with the IDF. They're going to have to do some soul searching, and I mean immediate soul searching, because the 7th of October was a date, that they still have not been able to, and there's an investigation going on, and I've already heard from some of the soldiers that were told to stand down and the exact hours. So something bad happened, and it was an inside thing. I don't know, again, that's a bombshell right there. So the internal situation in Israel has got to be done with a
hold it, hang on, whoa.
The classic Steve Bannon to whoa. Let's get some clarity.
Whoa, hang on. You can't drop a bomb like that. Mike Flynn, your former head of DIA, first national security advisor, President Trump, a revered figure globally. You're saying your sources are telling you on the investigation that they're trying to slow down and slow walk over there because we're coming up on the 2nd anniversary of it. You're saying that you're hearing there's testimony or documents or actual evidence that certain elements of the Israeli military were told to stand down? Because I know from people I know, this is a very contentious area and it's going to be explosive. Are you hearing the same thing?
Steve, you can go back to interviews that I did like the next day and the following week after October 7th in multiple broad alternative media, where I said something went wrong. Because, Steve, I have personally walked that border. I have been down at those areas, and I know the details of how the Israelis one of the most secure borders in the world, how they do their operations. So I know that. So something broke down, and it wasn't because of mistakes. So that's number one. This internal machinations that are going on right now, what's going to have to happen? They're going to have to come to grips with this, because I'm going to tell you, the American people, they're getting tired of it. They're getting tired of this constant, Israel, Israel, Israel. I mean, I'm the biggest fan. I would, I have been to Israel many times. I have,
He has, to his credit. So I appreciate him being, honest about the situation. He is not one of the shameless supporters of the 100% unwavering Israel guys. So
serve alongside them. I have done things with them, certainly on the intelligence side. So I'm their biggest fan, but the American people are not.
Exactly. The world is turning on them. They've got a PR crisis, and that is another problem that they need to hammer on, is why this situation is the way it is. And it appears, I would guess, Bibi knew that he was his administration was on life support. They knew that they were coming after him. They were calling him for him to step down. And then he allowed these attacks on 10/7, told people to stand down, make an atrocity. That way he could grab more power, shut everything down. So he ensured his own survival. And this could tie into perhaps this idea of a greater Israel project that some of these Zionists seem to be hoping for. And if they've been continuing to push the people of Palestine into smaller and smaller little parcels of land, but eventually they would just like to level the whole thing for themselves and continue to expand as part of their beliefs, which could be quite dangerous if they get any more powerful. I don't know, with some of the ways that they get along with the neighbors. But let me get back to a couple things. Well, TK Mark was, you're disappointed about the deportations. Of course, I know the national debt is more important. I don't know about this one. Thanks, Deb. Great to have you. Glad you could make it. Have a great one. We'll see you next time. Yeah, they're going to fight for all of eternity. This isn't something that we need to be involved with. I would just love to just drop both sides. Don't have a dog in the fight. Just keep the United States out of it. Well, Zink's got his own issues. Yeah, we'll get there. But he's occasionally right on some things. He's pretty good with his criticism of Israel. But I wouldn't agree with him on everything. Though, I think Anna Kasparian's done a good job of being honest about the situation on the Dems. So, not that I tune into them, I just catch their tweets here and there. Just like FDR allowed Pearl Harbor to be bombed. Yeah, it could be if they have to get. Well, in that case, they wanted to get involved in the war, but they needed to get the American people to back it. And so people didn't want to get involved, so they had to manufacture a false flag. But I've done that before. I did it with the sinking of the Lusitania. They knew that was going to happen, but they allowed it to happen because they did want, again, another war. That was World War I. Then they got us into World War II with Pearl Harbor, and then they just made up the one with the Gulf of Tonkin for Vietnam. Of course, blew up the Trade Center, got us into Iraq and Afghanistan. But yeah, that's kind of par for the course. But in this one, this one was more of like a desperate power grab, kind of like Zelensky. You're just grabbing. See, if you're involved in a war, you have special wartime powers. You can control the media, the population, and it was like a survival mechanism. But it's also, it could lead into the possibility that the grand scheme, they want to destabilize the Middle East and they want a greater Israel. They would love to have a massive country full of major cities. Because you see the war with Iran, it's very tough for Israel, even with its modern weaponry and backing of the United States, to fight a war against an enormous country like Iran, because there's just not enough cities, not enough population centers. So, but if Israel was like 5 times the size, it could be quite formidable. I don't know. That's what they want to see, or at least some of the Zionists, not all of it. In fact, I had an interesting conversation with Grok about that. Just curious about that. But the thing that gets really misunderstood is the disconnect between biblical Israel and the modern version. And then you've got different factions of Christians and people that support Judaism, whether they like the country or not, the country of Israel, or agree with their policies, with their interpretations of the scriptures. But in the modern political discourse, Greater Israel is associated with the Zionist aspirations to expand their borders beyond its current internationally recognized boundaries. So, but they do have ambitions of expansionism. So, this is a big power move for Bibi, as he's was cornered there. So now he can grab all the power and then go for the big expansion if they can pull it off. But they're going to need our help. But they're committing atrocities, and the world is seeing it. Now they've got a massive PR crisis and all kinds of pushback. And hello, Sir Sue and Matthew. The damn census and the Constitution. What's wrong with them? Well, it's just they're abusing it. You got a census, and you're going to stuff the population so you get more districts, more Congress people, and then you get let's say like California or Texas or wherever, stuff in all of these illegal aliens, and then you can get more representatives. So it's an interesting way that they did that. So it's an interesting push in 2020. And we'll see what happens past that. Okay, is real or is it real? It is real, and it's not good. Not good lately, I'll say that. I would say that things have switched. We've gone from the biggest clear and present danger to the country was the woke left, who I think have been defeated and destroyed for the most part. They're out licking their wounds in their safe space on blue sky. They're leaderless and rudderless, infighting. They have no new agenda. They're in a lot of trouble. So I think now the clear and present danger appears to be the Zionists. They have a lot of control and power in Washington. So, speaking of which, let's get to the next story. Lawmakers that travel to Israel, do they deserve rewards? Here it is. There's so these are our Congress people that should be in their districts right now, visiting with constituents, helping their neighbors. But instead, they're over on this little pilgrimage to Israel to suck up and get more money. Very alarming trend. Why are so many? Could you imagine if our forefathers, what they would think if so many of our congressional representatives just all took a big trip down to a foreign country where they were showering them with money, corrupting them? So we're just showing the contrast here with Thomas Massey in his district there in Kentucky versus so many of the other sellouts. So probably not rewarding. You got Health Ranger Mike Adams here saying all U.S. lawmakers who bolted from Congress and headed to Israel to receive orders from Bibi should be arrested for treason or never allowed back into the U.S. Clearly, they are representatives for Israel and not the U.S. states and districts. Got a point. I don't know if that's treason, but maybe they should be like censured. Like this is all gonna be put under a microscope, and deservedly so. This has gone on for too long, and now that we've seen the dark side of Israel these last couple of years, it's time to pull back. Expose it for what it is, and shame these people that are taking money and representing a foreign country over our own. In fact, I trolled Thomas Massey about this. He was a good sport. He actually liked my comment here. So he was saying he had the privilege of meeting with people in Kentucky. It's great to speak with local officials in his community. So I called him out and I said, you should be kissing the wall right now, Tommy, but you're in Kentucky because you hate Jews. He did like it. Maybe it was a courtesy. But I'm just trolling him. Because these other people like Randy Fine, they're doing these little photo ops at the Wailing Wall. It's like, well, what are you doing over there? Yeah, these are not serious people. Massey is. I mean, I know they've got a little war brewing with him and Trump, but Massey's a real one. That's a real representative there. He doesn't take money from AIPAC or the Israel lobby or foreign donation or from the foreign lobbies. He's a true American. So, gotta respect that. Okay, I think that's all I have on that one. Quick one. Just wrap up a few odds and ends and we'll call it a day. I'm already at the 90-minute mark almost. Oh, shit. More money for laundering opportunities. Yeah, they abandon their offices. It's amazing. It's like the first thing they do. It's like, oh, okay, they're off for a summer vacation, a little recess, and they all head to Israel so that they can be brainwashed, bribed, brainwashed, blackmailed if necessary. No, Randy Fine is a disgrace. He's a big slob. No. He needs to be recalled. Okay, speaking of somebody who needs to be recalled, how about Jasmine Crockett? Should she be the clear frontrunner in 2028? We ripped on her a little yesterday in the show. We had a good show yesterday. Little surprise show at Gene Owens of Faithless Town. And one of the questions was with Nancy Mace and Jasmine Crockett. Are these people involved in, are they just more social media influencers that are viewing Congress as just like a side hustle? It appears so. It looks like Jasmine Crockett's political aspirations are going to get trashed. So this just in, multiple staffers have turned against Jasmine Crockett, accusing her of being a no-show boss from hell. That's per the New York Post. So that just dropped. She's never in the office. She's very disengaged. She's just basically trying to pull her bullshit out that goes viral and then freaks out over random things. She just lays around her apartment, won't come into the office, and is really just indifferent to staff and will scream at them. Yeah, because they do all the work. And she wants them to do all the work while she gets to goof off and be a big star. The third aid adage, yeah, she's focused almost exclusively on being an influencer, not a member of Congress. She doesn't care about her constituents. Doesn't give two shits. This is about her being famous. And even gets worse, she also demands to be driven around in the back seat of an Escalade every time she's in Washington, requiring a staffer to wait hours next to the car just to be ready to open the door for her. She's just a diva from hell. Yeah, here's her doing one of her little stunts.
We're not going to do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just
you just voted to do
Y'all
it.
did it
first. Oh, no, you didn't.
So you don't want to talk about
voted to do it.
Order. I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at calm down. Calm down.
No, because this is what y'all do.
Even Jamie Raskins had enough of her bullshit.
Proceeding.
So I'm trying to get clarification.
This is just an embarrassment and is beneath Congress. As bad as Congress is, this is a circus. This is just totally unprofessional.
Okay,
you're not recognized, Miss Crockett.
I can't hear you with your yelling.
Don't want
calm
me
down.
No,
can you please calm down?
Don't tell me to calm down.
Never tell a woman to calm down. That wasn't going to work out no matter what. But like she's going to go, yes, you know what? Yeah, I'm out of line. I'm just a little too amped up on coffee today. I'm excited about this hearing. No, this is who she is. And this is just all for show. She wants to be a star. This is not about her constituents. It's about her Instagram followers.
Calm down.
Because y'all talk noise, and then you
y'all
out of control.
Because if I
Look, Chairman,
come and talk shit about her, y'all gonna have a problem.
And she even said talk shit. Wow, yeah, she's just trash. Here is the article, Trump critic Crockett, the no-show boss from hell who terrorizes staffers. All diva, no wow. Here she is. She wants to be a social media influencer. I think her career's about to flame out. Gone too far, and it's a toxic staff environment, much like Kamala Harris. Showing that she's following in the footsteps of Sheila Jackson Lee, who is also a bit outspoken. So that's what's happening there. Randy Fine might not be the best congressman, but he's got a hell of a body on him. He sure does. He's got a lot to love. He's all big and cuddly. No worries, Rick. That was a impromptu. That was a special show with, Gene Owens of Faithless Town. That was just the best time that we could get together. He was off all day yesterday, so we're like, hey, let's just do a show on Wednesday. So that was not. It's more of a surprise, but it's up on the website. It's a good one. And it's reasonably short as well. I think it's about 75 minutes. We're about 90 so far, but I'm about to wrap up. Yeah, definitely a crock of you know what. Divagate. Love it. Yes, now everybody's turning on her. That's good. Yeah, she's a flaming narcissist, maybe a sociopath. And her stunts are backfiring now. So it's over. She was one of the front runners for 2028. Her and Cory Booker. He's doing some ridiculous stunts too. Big fiery speeches about nothing. Democrats are just a joke. Anywho, what else do I have? A couple other quick notes. So, Lawmakers, just to wrap up, lawmakers that traveled to Israel deserve rewards. No, they deserve censorship. Maybe treason. Jasmine Crockett should be clear frontrunner, and not anymore. She is now getting destroyed from within. And Las Vegas, not Las Vegas, is it now a relic and experience of the past? It's also another New York Post article. So Las Vegas, the tourism is sinking and younger Americans could be to blame. But I mean, this is a little unfair to blame them. The town has changed so much. And I can speak on this because I lived there for nearly 20 years. And I was a Las Vegas bartender or on the strip there in GM Grand, New York. And I was there during still during the prime era, although it was the prices were increasing dramatically. It's when they started installing the parking fees, the restaurants, the resort fees, just so much where like the guest experience was not the same. Like when I first got there, and then hearing about all the stories from the back in the past, even just checking out like the movie Casino, kind of give you the idea. They made so much money, and it was all on like table games, and everybody got like cheap food, cheap drinks. That was like that was the allure. You're gonna go there, and it was so cheap, and there was like so many great restaurants, and just like 24 hours of great entertainment, free parking. They used to have like free valet parking even when I was first there. Man, they got greedy. Now they make all their money on slots. They're trying to get rid of the table games, charge for parking, resort fees, the outrageous drink fee, everything. The restaurants, the drinks. It's so damn expensive. I don't know how anybody does it anymore. And they got all those just amazing cathedrals of casinos. It's an incredible place. So I don't know if they can fix that up. They're going to have to change something, because I don't know how it's going to survive with the next generation. Why are they going to go there? And of course, it's also changed by the fact that people can gamble in other places now. But why make that trip? Why is it worth it anymore? It was different when you could get, free drinks all the time, or drinks would be like, $2 or $3. Now they're like $15, $20. It's insane. Even at the end, when I quit in 2015, it was, beers I think were $8, $9, and the mixed drinks were like $12, starting at $12. It's too bad. Barra moves in. Yeah, Mike's there now. It's a good place for him, and it still has its. There's still pros and cons. I just lived there for in the desert. It's so like abnormal, and it's a lot of fun for like 5 years, and then it starts getting kind of old. And it was there's a lot of good money there too. Just it was such an easy way to make a living in the service industry, so it had its benefits there. And Mike, it's still good for Mike because being up in Seattle, it's so isolating. It's like way up in the middle. You're so far from like the next like major cities. Whereas Vegas, it's so cheap to fly in and out. You're 4.5 hours from LA. You're 4 or 5 hours away from Phoenix. So it's still a better location. It's different, and you got to stick with the local spots or downtown. You can still have some good fun there. Still a lot of cool things about it. It was just, it gets strange, and it's just after a while, it's not worth it. But it's for like Mike, it's a good spot, so he'll be fine. Nude bartender. No, definitely not. That is a myth. Although I did work at a few times in the theater over at New York with one of the Cirque shows, the Zumanity show. Now they used to have like the like it was more of like a sexualized adults only show with boobies and the simulation of sex. That's about as close as that got. Cuddly Bear, but it was a good experience. Wouldn't trade it. Okay, what else? How about Cracker Barrel? It's another regional hallmark that's falling apart. A lot of the restaurants, man, it's just it's weird getting the restaurant experience these days. And I've been to Cracker Barrel several times, but it seems like it's gone downhill with with so many other restaurants. Every time you go out, it's like it's expensive and the food just isn't as good as it used to be. Cracker Barrel's all right. I mean, like the breakfast is good, but I'm pretty disappointed with the rest of it. The experience, what made Cracker Barrel is it's the unique experience of going in and all the knickknacks and the little market they have in there, but they're remodeling it and they're changing it. Just now it's a strange experience. Here it is. Yeah, now it's all like sterilized and open. Looks like a cafeteria with knickknacks on the wall. I don't know. It's not worth it. Some of these restaurants are shutting down. I don't know how they make money. And I swear the last several times I've been out to eat, it's been way too expensive and the food just isn't like big deals. It's something that's like I couldn't make it home. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I guess I'll go there for breakfast, but I don't know about the rest of it. But anyway, yeah, it's a bygone era. I used to go to the Cracker Barrel to Silverton in the parking lot. That was kind of like a big deal in Vegas. And now I'm here in Tennessee where this is where Cracker Barrel is stationed, but it just hasn't been the same. I don't know. I think everybody's just cutting their costs. Quality's gone down. Just, I don't know. It's going to change. And that's another thing with the Zoomers. Now everybody just, orders delivery, gets their DoorDash. So I don't know. It's changing. We'll see what restaurants look like in 5 or 10 years as so many of them are going under. I don't know if they'll bring that all back. But anyway, okay, I think that's all I've got for today. It's been delightful. Thank you so much, Rick and Kenneth and TK Mark and Deb and Sue and Matthew and anybody else lurking and Rob. Thank you so much. Glad you guys could make it. And we'll do it all again next week, I guess next Tuesday. Archive on the Next Level News. Please like and subscribe. Look forward to seeing what the new media bombshells are for next week and beyond. It's going to be a fantastic year. So thank you all. And love you guys. And that is all I've got. So have a great weekend. Oh, and preseason football this weekend too. All right. It's about getting to the fall. So wrapping up the summer. Beyond should be fun. So stay tuned. All right, Kenneth. Well, take care, and we'll see you guys next time. All right. With that, but I'm out.